What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bond's Apartment. I, of course, am Luke. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. Quick little chat here about Harris Dickinson. This looks pretty weird, but we're going to roll with it. Now, this would be the third video in which I have discussed the Variety article regarding Amazon's wish list for the next James Bond and how it's an actor, a British actor under the age of 30, and they listed Harris Dickinson, Tom Holland, and the Australian, contradiction, Jacob Elordi. Why it took two videos and now the third video to realize it's not going to be Harris Dickinson. And that's because somebody very kindly commented on one of those two videos and reminded me that Harris Dickinson is signed on to play John Lennon in 4 films directed by none other than Sam Mendes: Skyfall, Spectre. The way Sam Mendes describes these films is there's 4 of them because there's 4 Beatles and each of them gets their own film. And together they are legendary. Now, you could probably expect that each actor will be in each film. You can't have a whole movie about John Lennon and not have Paul McCartney and the rest of the gang in the film. Also, the first one is supposed to come out in 2028, along with James Bond. So with that said, how on earth could he possibly play James Bond? We don't know if it's going to be 1 film a week for a month straight for the Beatles films. We don't know if it's 4 films in a day. We don't know how he's going to do it. But all I know is if you're playing John Lennon and it's coming out in 2028 and you're technically shooting 4 films sequentially from now till then, there's no way in hell. Another thing I want to point out, if Amazon is anything like Eon, you do not fit James Bond into your schedule. James Bond is your schedule. You fit other projects in between Bond films. So if you're playing John Lennon, you don't say, oh, I'm going to do this John Lennon film, and then I'm going to go do Bond real quick, and then I'll be back to do another Beatles movie. No way. Remington Steele, perfect example. Pierce Brosnan, they cancel Remington Steele. He gets cast as James Bond. In the 11th hour, they pick up Remington Steele and they say, hey, we'll play ball. We'll film around your schedule, Mr. Broccoli. And he says, absolutely not. My James Bond is not going to be simultaneously doing something else on TV or whatever it may be. He is James Bond. Now, this is obviously different times. And obviously, Pierce Brosnan filmed other projects in between his Bond films. So did Daniel Craig and everybody else. But this is different. This is a much bigger film. Not to mention it's 4 films. I just have a really hard time believing that Harris Dickinson could possibly be cast as Bond, say hypothetically in the next 3 months, and then begin shooting a Bond film while simultaneously shooting an entire film surrounding him as John Lennon, and then featuring in 3 other Beatles films, all directed by Sam Mendes, and somehow do both at the same time and have these 2 mega films, well, technically 5, all coming out in 2028. There's just no way. Let me know your thoughts. Really short, really sweet. Why it took me so long to put 2 and 2 together with that. When this guy commented that, whoever you are, thank you. I'm like, dude, I knew that. Why did nobody brought it up? I didn't bring it up. Nobody brought it up. That's like a no-brainer. So what that does is further prove one of my theories, which is either A, they truly do want somebody under 30, and they just thought, well, let's tease that idea with a few names attached to it and see what the public thinks. And in my video with David Zaritsky, nobody said anything about having an issue with Bond being 30. Most people had an issue with the 3 names that they attached to the article. And option B, the whole Bond under 30 thing is just a big ruse, and somebody like Aaron Taylor Johnson has already been cast or will be cast. Let me know your thoughts below. Is there any way Harris Dickinson actually plays James Bond? I find it incredibly hard to believe, being attached to 4 Beatles films, that he could ever take on the role as James Bond. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.